Hey there, Nick here, and Leslie is as well. Say hi, Leslie, from Code with Grace. And I'm just going to show you guys just quickly how to download the software we need for the course, just on a Windows computer. Okay, so getting fired up. I've got my crib notes. I've got my cheat sheet here, ready to go. So the first thing that we need is command line, and we also need Git, but it's the same thing in Windows, Git Bash for Windows. So it's a command line. It's like a terminal. It's like a way of, it's an operating system that you can use by typing. So in the same way you can point and click on things and create files by pointing and clicking on stuff, you can do that just from what's called the command line. And Git is actually a version control system. So I've got a file and I do revisions to it and I make a whole heap of changes, but I go, whoops, I want to go back to how it looked 3 days ago, then I'm able to do that with version control, and that's what this Git version control business is all about. So then I can actually track the changes to my file, but more than that, I can collaborate with other people and collaborate with the team and so on. And the next thing that we need is a text editor, and that's actually to do the coding. So, I could use Notepad or I could use Word or something like that. But really, if the text editor we're going to use is Atom, or you couldn't use Word, but you could use Notepad or Notepad++. We're going to use Atom because it has some nice functionality and it looks quite nice with colorings, and there's a whole heap of plugins and stuff you can have, and it's really, really good. So this is where we'll be writing our code in, and we'll be interacting with the computer through the command line. So the next thing is, when I spoke about Git and version control and having different versions of your code and being able to see your code, GitHub is like an online, it's like a website, but it's more than that. It's more a community where you can showcase the code that you've got, showcase your projects, you can collaborate with other people on coding projects. It's like LinkedIn, but for developers. So it's a great thing to have, and that's the third thing we need as well, is a GitHub account. So on a Windows machine, this is what we do. So first of all, what I'm going to do is grab Google, because that's important. So with all this stuff, and the answer to a lot of these questions over the course is going to be increasingly, just Google it, champ. So what we need to do first is let's download Git Bash Windows. There it is. Cool. So Git for Windows, that's what we need. Bang, download, and follow the defaults, and away you go. What that's going to look like is, if I can open it up, I've already got some yucky code there. Anyway, I'll just close that up and open up a fresh one. Okay, so it's going to look like this. It doesn't look very exciting at the moment, but what I can do is I'll show you just a little bit. I'm going to copy this location here of a file, and I'm going to just paste it in here, CD, with my little quotey things. I'm just going to paste that location. And so now I'm sitting here in this particular folder. So imagine it's like a tree structure. I've now gone to this particular location on my computer. And if I do an ls, which is list, I can see I've got a folder, which is kind of like the CSS and the JS, those folders. And I've got a .html file, the index.html file. Okay? So that's all working, and that's the idea of the command line, that I can navigate, I can create files, I can create folders, I can interact with the computer all through typing stuff. Okay. So the next thing that we need is a text editor. So let's go download Atom. There it is. So once again, there's a Windows installer for Atom. We download that, and we open it up, and then again, just run through the install. Pretty straightforward. Just click all the defaults. And what Atom's going to look like, and now that we have our Git Bash, which is our way of interacting with the computer, why don't we open up our index.html file using Atom? Let's do that. So let's just type in Atom index.html. Once you download Atom, that's what it's going to look like. So there we are. That's our index.html file, and I've typed some commands into my magic command line terminal thing here, and I've been able to open up a file sitting on my computer. So to show you that I'm not lying, let's open up like maybe another one, Notepad. Open up Notepad. Okay, and let's see, there we are. So that's the same file. It's the same file there. I've been able to open it up. Okay. So it's just a more efficient way of doing things. I think I'm going to have to close some of these other stuff because that's madness. Okay. So the next thing we need to do is we need to create our GitHub account. So let's look for GitHub, github.com. Okay, so I'm already logged into GitHub, but let's say and that's me, nryan1337, which is elite, like elite, as in like an elite ninja, because I'm a very sad person. So let's sign out, and so this is what the screen you're going to see. So when you first log in, you're going to pick a username, pick an email and a password, and you're going to sign up. You'll probably get sent to confirm your details in the email, and it bounce back. But then when you fill out all the information, you can sign in. This is embarrassing. Okay, so there we are. This is a email address I've had since I was like 13 or something. It's really embarrassing. Mangled Mongoose. Now I'll put my password in. So this is my GitHub account, and believe it or not, but this index file, which I've decided to share with the world, is the same file that's sitting locally on my computer. And what I've done is I've actually this whole location I've got under version control, which is Git. So I type in the command git status, and there we are. I've got nothing to commit. So there's a two-step process. I make some changes to the file, I commit those changes, and then I push those changes to this repository, which is sitting on GitHub, and this can host my files so that anyone can see it. So that hopefully this is helpful to someone else. And what this code actually does, I'll show you. This code here I've got, it's actually a typewriter effect that it does. So it says code with girls, and then there's a pause, and then it goes grit, and then it goes growth, and then it goes guts, and then it goes grace, all with pauses. So let's see that in action. There we are. There we are. So that's the typewriter effect that's on the Code with Grace website. And the code's sitting in my GitHub account, and I've also got a local copy, and my text editor's there. So just kind of showing you guys the way that everything kind of ties in together. Okay, I hope this was useful. Any questions, let me know. Okay, thanks everyone.